Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the O&A, March 18th, 2024. I'd like to announce that we have Councilor Frank Majota. We have Councilor Grace. We have from our Harbor Master's Office, TJ Shimataro. We have Sherry White. We are expecting Jill Cahill to be here shortly. And also as well as Donna Crocker from the Waterways Board. So without any further ado, I'd like to move on to the first order of business, which is boards, committees, and commissions. And we have a new appointment for the Board of Registers. We have Doug Parsons. That'll be effective from 3/6/2024, term due expend 2/14/2027. Doug, if you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the Board of Registers.
Well, I've been involved in the election process for a while. I heard enough about they're always needing help, so I stopped into the clerk's office one day and said, how can I help? What do I do? And that's when I began. So they put me as an inspector up in Ward 4. An inspector at the time were the people who checked you in before you gave you the ballot and checked you out afterwards. And I did that for several elections, and I was happy doing that. No responsibility, but they asked me to become constable. And so I decided, I agreed to that. The constable shows up at City Hall and gets all the election stuff for the precinct at about 5:30 and gets the precinct and sets it up, and then he guards the machine, the ballot box, and the ballots, as well as if anybody comes in wearing political gear, you know, that sort of stuff. And I was happy doing that. And after many elections of that, they really pushed me to become warden. And if you think of it as a kind of a pyramid, the warden is the top at the precinct, and the clerk is the bottom of the clerk's office. So I deal with everything, and if I can't deal it, me and the clerk try to handle it. And if we can't handle it, the clerk goes up there. And one time we had to go to the Secretary of State. So I was doing that, and I think I have a pretty good precinct. And one thing that I tell my people at the beginning of every election, not only do we have to be nonpartisan, fair, open, we have to appear nonpartisan, fair, open. So I'll be asking you to do some stuff, and you say, it'd be so much easier to do it that way. I suggest that I know. So becoming registrar is just the next step. And for the registrar, the last couple of times that we had to nominate somebody, I tried to get other people to do it. And this time, I couldn't get enough. We have to nominate 3. We couldn't get enough 3, so I became one of the 3, and the mayor liked me, and here I am. I hope you guys like me too.
Excellent. Thank you, Doug. Do we have any questions from the council? We'll start with Councilor Majota.
Wow, and thanks for that. Great, you pretty much spoke of everything. I think you'd just be a great fit for this committee. You're very well knowledgeable about it. You're committed, and you care. So I support you 100%.
Councilor Grace.
I mean, your foundation is solid, so I think the next step is exactly what you're doing. So thank you, appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
Doug, what I can say is that in the years I've been knowing you, you're a standout person, and you really care about the community. And I've seen you work in action, because you've been the warden at Ward 5 before, working in the polls. And you got to mention also keeping the people the 100 feet away from the polling stations. Yeah. And I've seen you interact with people, and you're friendly but concise. And that's what we look at. The clerk has said that you're one of the volunteers that's there to test the equipment that shows up. Joanne believes she can rely on you as a strong participant and volunteer in that part of our government, which is the most important of our government, is our freedom of speech and vote. So I'll also be supporting you 100%.
Thank you.
And with that being said, we'll start off with Council Majota. Do we have a motion?
Committee recommendation move to recommend that the city council appoint Doug Parsons to the Board of Register of Voters, term ending 2/14/27, and I so move.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Doug, have you been sworn in?
Yes.
And have you taken,
Um,
well, just sworn in, right, Sherry?
That again, Sean?
We're not doing the ethics testing right now still?
He'll get a link if he's due for it. I will be sending him a link from the state system.
Excellent, thank you. So we look
Yeah,
forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
What's her name? Judy Peterson
Mhm.
was there for the longest time. And you would show up there a couple days a week. So because of that, since I got the appointment, I've been spending an afternoon, a week in there doing whatever it is that they needed done, so I can understand how the whole process.
Excellent. Doug, thank you very much. We'll see you on next Tuesday for the full council's approval.
Okay, all right.
And you're welcome to stay if you like, or you can leave.
Be clear, Vincent, go home. I'm out of here.
You have a good night.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you all.
Thank you, Doug.
It's been great meeting you.
And I would like to announce that Donna Crocker is now in present
Thank you,
from
my board council.
the Waterway.
Sorry
Committee.
about that.
Oh, very
I
nice.
was in North Andover.
North Andover's got a lot going on with Gloucester right now. All right, so next on the list for the Clean City Commission, we have, and I'm gonna say it, Dr. John.
Oh.
And I want some music behind that. I believe it's John R. DeCordo.
That's right.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad we got that right. And your term to expire 2/15/27. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the Clean City Commission.
Sure. I am a retired psychiatrist. I moved here permanently in 2020 from Colorado. And my roots really stem to Gloucester stem more from my wife, whose mother grew up here back in the 60s, probably in the 50s, actually. And when I retired, I wanted to go to a place where I didn't have a medical license, so I wouldn't go back to work. Hence, I moved to Massachusetts from Colorado. I'm originally from Wisconsin. So I own a home. I've owned a home here in Gloucester since 2018. I live on Prospect Street. And I want to, now that things have kind of normalized post-COVID, I moved here in the midst of it. I wanted to find something to fill my time in a constructive way and be more than just a responsible citizen, kind of give to the community. And one of I guess my wife would concur is that, I'm kind of a neat freak. I like to pick things up. I'm picking up trash all the time in front of my house. I live a couple of blocks from Destino's. And it's one of the main arteries, as you well know, in the city, so it gets a lot of traffic. And so I thought this is something that I thought I could, in a simple way, contribute to the community in a concrete way, hopefully. And so I picked something that I like, and hence the Clean City Committee.
Excellent. Thank you very much, John. Do we have any questions from the committee? And I'll start with Councilor Grace.
Yeah, I read your resume, I was impressed by it. Too bad you weren't still practicing, because during all this TOD stuff, we could probably use you.
If I would have stayed in Colorado, my wife, well, I am convinced I would have went back to work, so.
Yeah, I get it, yeah. No, I'm grateful that you're willing to step up to this. It's something near and dear to my heart. It's been drilled into my head since a child to, pick up after yourself, clean up, don't throw, protect the earth, so, yeah,
Exactly.
rock on.
Excellent. Councilor Majota.
She nailed it right there. Thank you for stepping up. I appreciate it.
It'll be
You're welcome.
my pleasure.
And Dr. John. And that's gonna be a forever thing with me.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm looking for you to hit the piano keys, and singing. How do you feel about outlawing nips?
I'm in favor of it. I've walked, because I have a lot of time now and I like to stay in shape. I've walked probably every single street in the city, at least, and I'm not counting up by the industrial park, but every other street. And one of the things I'll do is I'll count. How many do I see? And it's just what I can see walking by. I'm not moving bushes. And it's easy. You can get to 50 of them in 3 miles, easy. So I would be in favor of that.
All right, that's something that's gonna be in front of you guys.
Well, and I think it's when I walk around, I wonder, why would people, one, like you said, pick up after yourself, but if you're gonna be an economical drinker, you should probably buy a fifth and just carry a little bottle around with you and then reuse it. I mean, maybe that could be the message that comes out of this.
That I guess, in all the volunteer cleanups that I do, I would say that, that Fireball is the biggest.
Oh, it's amazing.
biggest-
It's amazing. It's terrible stuff, but
You
it's,
should just put it in a plastic bladder and then you can refill you.
I mean, obviously,
Exactly.
most people are drinking naps not supposed to be drinking,
Probably.
yeah.
so that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
But,
I was gonna
but,
say maybe
um,
egg.
I wanna thank you to the community. You're gonna love it here, Colorado's really nice, but Gloucester's very special. And
I've
it's
been
gonna
here
grow
since
on you.
'85, and I've never had a bad time, and since I moved here, I still haven't had a bad time.
Yeah.
I found a golf gang, and I mean, everything is normal here.
Excellent. So we look forward to having you, and this is gonna be exciting. So with that being said, Councilor Grace, do we have a motion?
Yes, committee recommendation, move to recommend that the city council appoint John R. Eduardo, MD, to the Gloucester Clean City Commission for a term ending on 2/15/27, and I so move.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All righty, so it's all good. Have you been sworn in or taken the ethics test?
No, I've only been trained on, like I told you about.
You've done
this
Rose
system.
Baker. Yeah.
But
Sherry
Ms.
will reach
White,
out to you.
that's her name, White, I believe. She sent me an email, so I'm hoping I can kill two birds with one stone with the recall tomorrow. Is get sworn in at
Yes.
some point, and then I guess I'll get a website
Mhm.
where I can go and do the training,
Mhm.
which I'll do as soon as I get it.
Very
so.
simple. Then we'll see you next Tuesday at the full council, and that can be done from home, or you can come in present. Pretty much gonna be the same thing you went through tonight.
Is it here in this room?
No, it will be at City Hall.
Okay, I'll be there live. I only live, 5 minutes
Yeah.
away, so.
And thank you again for participating in the recount tomorrow. We could.
Oh, no,
use the
it's,
help.
again, I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna get as much out of it as you guys are. I'm gonna learn a lot, so it's gonna be great.
We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're welcome to stay for the entire meeting, or you can leave.
Well, we're having a birthday dinner for my wife. Her birthday was
There you
yesterday,
go.
so I don't want to do
St.
that.
Patrick's Day birthday.
Oh, man, yeah, she's Irish one day a year. So I thank you. I'm proud to be able to serve.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. John.
All right. You guys around town?
Yes.
Oh, so next up, Sherry, do we have Suzanne Morale?
No, she's not available this evening.
Okay, we'll put her on to the next meeting.
Okay, sure. That'll be April 1st.
Sean Henry from the Community Preservation Committee. Sean is pretty well known to us all. I'd like to read him in without any objection.
No.
So we'll have Sean Henry fulfilling the unexpired term of the Community Preservation Committee, term to expire 2/15/2026. Council Majota, would you like to read the motion?
Committee recommendation, move to recommend the city council appoint Sean Henry to the Community Preservation Committee, term ending 2/15/26, and I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Sean knows what to do. Excellent. So next up on the Human Rights Commission, do we have Wanda Cohen?
Believe so. Hold on. I'm going to try to bring someone in. I believe it's her. Hold on, please. Wanda, is that you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi, shall I introduce myself?
Yeah, we know who you are, Wanda. If you just want to tell us a little bit why you want to be on the Human Rights Commission, we'd appreciate that.
Okay, well, like your prior two nominees, I live in Gloucester. I moved here 50 years ago, but I only stayed a year. But last 2 years ago, my husband and I were returning to the United States and wanted to return to this community. And we're very pleased to be back. I am a retired attorney. I worked for the IRS for 22 years, and I've had a lot of experience in mediating disputes with people from all walks of life. I think in the course of my practice, I had perhaps some of the wealthiest people in the United States on the other side, and I also had people who were in Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And every case that I had involved a conflict, and every case I had to get resolved. And I think my skills that I developed over the years are pretty well suited to this committee. Having lived in Germany for 10 years prior to 2022, I saw a lot of change in the world. I saw the Syrian immigrants coming into Germany and being integrated into the German society. Got to observe as an outsider how that was done. And now that I'm back in the United States, I'd like to help people who need to understand how to access the government and what their rights are and how to fully participate. I'd like to help educate those folks.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Wanda. And I'll start with council questions, and I'll start with Councilor Majota.
No questions, just more comments. Wanda, very impressive resume. You seems like you've got a lot of experience in this, and you'd be a great fit for the Human Rights Commission.
Well, thank you very much.
Councilor Grace.
You bring a lot to this role, or will bring a lot to this role, and I'm grateful for your wanting to take on this responsibility, and it certainly is much needed in this world that we live in today, so thank you.
Thank you.
And so Wanda, finally, so bringing an attorney into the Human Rights Commission, I think it's the first attorney we have on the board. And your work with the IRS is probably going to help, because not only is it social, but it's economic diversity that we're living with. And there's a lot of people that could use help and representation on if they're feeling they're being wronged for some reason. So I think this is going to be a great addition to this committee. We had actually last meeting, we had appointed a social worker onto this committee, which I really thought was also impressive. And I think that the administration is picking some very wonderful people to represent the city on these important boards and commissions. And I just want to thank you for standing up and taking the opportunity to serve us.
I consider it an honor, but thank you very much.
Excellent. So that being said, Councilor Grace, do we have a recommendation?
Committee recommendation: move to recommend that the City Council appoint Wanda Cohen to the Human Rights Commission for a term ending on 2/15/27, and I so move.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the ayes have it 3-0. Wanda, have you taken your ethics test, or have you been sworn in yet?
I have been sworn in. I was sworn in on Friday, and I have not received the link yet for the ethics test, but I will take it as soon as it's available.
Excellent. Sherry will reach out to you. And we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night for the full city council for the full appointment. And again, that can be done in person or online. And thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, so up next we have on the Human Rights Commission, we have Lauren Riley Gove, term to expire 2/15/27. Councilor Majota knows Lauren and feels confident to read her in for the full evaluation of the council. So with that being said, Councilor Majota, would you like to read the motion?
Committee recommendation: move to recommend the City Council appoint Lauren Riley Gove to the Human Rights Commission, term ending 2/15/27, and I so move.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's 3-0, and we'll inform Lauren and let her know about the criteria. So next up, and this is kind of nice, we have two of my favorite city people. We have number 2, memorandum from the Harbor Master requesting amendments to GCO Chapter 10 Waterways Administration Section 10-51 Regulation of Moorings. Is Jill Cahill online at this point?
No, Councilor Nolan, I do not see her yet.
She said she was running late, but that's not a problem. We have 2 very capable people here to ask and to tell us any things that they want to go.
Sure.
So I would pass the floor to the Harbor Master. You all right with that, Don?
I'm gonna kick off this portion and then I'm gonna let Donna speak to some of the work,
Perfect.
how we got here. So last year we came before you guys, changed up some fees and some structures, kind of self-admittedly missed kind of a portion of that. We raised the season pass fee, but we didn't raise the daily use fee, which we should have probably done together. The reason why we attack this to begin with is that we run pretty hard in the red on the launch. We're an enterprise fund and it's a user-based service. We've doubled the service. We have a new launch boat. So we run three beautiful boat, same as the other one, just a little newer. We run them simultaneously on holidays and weekends and some Fridays, depending on the weather. We'll run both boats. So we've totally doubled the amount of service that we're providing. Lessened wait times, been able to increase the moorings out in Southeast Harbor due to a second launch boat. So a bunch of good stuff has happened with that. Unfortunately, we didn't raise the daily user fee, and some people kind of figured out that the daily fee was cheaper than the season pass, and we really want to push users to the season pass to make, to continue the service that we're providing. We're never going to be in the black on this. We understand that as an enterprise fund and as a waterways board, but we need to try to lessen the blow, but get a little closer to the middle. So we did a lot of work on this. The waterways board, we met several times, and we decided to leave the $350 fee exactly where it was. We've kind of given a little extra to that now because we realized we did raise the fee, pretty substantially, but well in line with the service that people are getting and we're providing. So we've kind of stricken it's unlimited use now. It used to be one use per day for 4 people. So in and out to your boat once per day with the season pass. We've let that go unlimited with the season pass this time around, but we did raise the daily fee from $5 to $10 for that one-time user. So what that looks like, so you guys understand, is just if you're not quite familiar with this program, so we have launch boats here that take people to their moorings, and they can buy a season pass, and it's for permitted mooring holders within the confines of Gloucester Inner Harbor. We don't service the river. We only service Southeast Harbor, like the 10 Pound Island area and the Inner Harbor. The launch service comes with the transient moorings that we rent. So we rent 30 transient moorings. That service is included in the mooring fee. So that's kind of how that works. And then we have, very rarely, we have one-offs that are, someone comes to town, they want to go visit someone, they'll pay $5 at the time. Now, hopefully $10, in and out per trip. And that will also help us drive more people to the season pass model, in which we're striving to, because it's a less of a, it's financially better for the service that we're providing. So we've also come up, we did a pretty big survey, thanks to Donna and the Waterways Board, sent out a survey monkey, and I'll let her kind of explain the results that we got back from that, because we didn't shoot in the dark on this. We did a lot of work to try to figure out what the best model was that would serve the most amount of people for the best price possible. So
Excellent, thank you, TJ.
Yeah.
Donna, the floor is
And
yours.
I did print some of those surveys. We, as a board, came up with a bunch of questions that went out to all of those people in those service areas. Asking about usage, asking, whether they bought a pass before, whether they bring people out to their boats with them, how often that happens, how they feel about the hours, a bunch of different things to sort of get down to, how people are using it, and what the price structures might be. There were some anomalies that the people that figured out that $5 back and forth was going to be way cheaper for them, or, but there were anomalies too for people that do buy season passes and only use it 1 to 5 times. So we have this group of people that pretty much fit in the curve. I use it a lot and I buy a pass. And then a few people, I buy a pass, but I don't use it much. And then people that don't buy a pass, but use the service a lot. So there was definitely some room for some different pricing structures to sort of get everybody paying for what they use and having the opportunity to have an unlimited pass. So what we came up with was buy a pass, have unlimited, or buy books of rides. So you can buy a book of 20 rides. They get both things get a big discount off the $10 ride. The $10 day pass is really to drive people to buy the books or buy the season pass, so that the launch drivers aren't dealing with dollars on all the people have to do is rip off a ticket and hand it over. So
it's chaotic down there.
Yeah, if you're bringing people out to your boat, you can buy two books, hand one to the person that normally goes with you, or, be able to go back and forth to the boats. But there definitely was a discrepancy of in 22, 63 passes purchased, and then when the price went up, all of a sudden the day rates went way up and the passes went down. So people kind of figured out, we don't want to do that willy-nilly again. We really wanted to get some input. And many people said, yes, I'd be interested in buying books of rides, or so we got, actually quite a few surveys back. We're up to.
That's 60-something surveys back.
69 now back, yeah.
Quite good. Overall, everyone had no overall love the launches, of course.
Yeah, that
They're
was
two world
great
class, the
feedback.
best boats money can buy for the most part, as far as launches go.
The other part of that should be in the language is the $5 increase on transient.
It is,
Okay.
and I haven't got to it yet.
So that was the other piece of it, is
Yeah.
how do we spread this? So the launch, costs $45,000 to $50,000 a year to run. And
The boat
23
launches.
brought in $15,900.
Total.
Total, okay.
Yeah.
And how much did they bring in?
$15,900.
And we're an enterprise fund, so we're as you guys know, we're a user-based
Yep.
system here, so. When the city in the Waterways Board back in 2013 bought the original launch, they knew. And I don't know what deals were made back then, it's irrelevant now, but they knew that it was more of a they knew they were gonna run in the red. But they also knew that there was an economic value of bringing, you're immensely contributing to tourism without taking up parking and without congesting streets with traffic. We're bringing in 1,200 to 1,500 reservations a year. In a 100-day window, thousands of people, that's not including people on anchors or people on private transient moorings for businesses. So it's thousands and thousands of people that are coming in here. And again, we're not contributing to traffic or parking, which is always a huge dilemma when it comes tourism season here. So we know that it's gonna be, the city as a whole knew that it's not ever gonna run as a profitable situation, but we do need to try to close the gap on this. Things are getting crazy expensive, and that's with no repairs or breakdowns. That's just personnel costs, and haul out, winterization, shrink wrap, like your basic costs, not anything significantly happening. Boats are one's brand new and one's been repowered, so we don't anticipate huge catastrophic breakdowns, but we've had them in the past, and it only takes one plastic bag in the harbor to suck up in the sea strainer and overheat a motor, and we're out 15 grand. So, like Donna said, we did try to share the burden with the transients. That's still a very good deal as far as everywhere else is concerned for the amenities that you get. $65. We want to go up $5. You get unlimited use of the launch in and out, and the launch runs from Memorial Day to Columbus Day weekend, 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you get unlimited use of the launch. You get brand new moorings. We have the best moorings in New England. Just read our reviews on Aqua. It's not just me saying that. We have almost 400 reviews, 4.8 stars. So we're doing pretty well. That's a lot of
That was
reviews
some
to
of the
make it.
other research is, where do we fit? The guys coming down from Maine think we're expensive, and the people coming up from the south think we're really cheap. So, we wanted to spread the pain around a little bit, not just for the Gloucester residents having their moorings, but also the transients coming in that pick up some of the tab on closing the gap. on the
Sure.
Launch.
So we thought, raise the 5 on the transients because they use the launch probably 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time is used by patrons of mooring permit holders. And again, this unlimited use of a $200,000 boat for 130 days, 14 hours a day. So we still feel very strongly that this is a great deal for the service that we're providing. And like Donna said, the book of rides knocks it down to $7 a piece. So you get a good discount if you buy the book. It can get very chaotic here on the weekends of the launches, and people and uses, especially around Fiesta, Schooner Festival, stuff like that. So we limited transactions are very beneficial to the men and women that operate the boat. Other than that, no one can really complain about the service at all. I don't think. I think everyone thought it was unbelievable. So, and our guys do a great job. They run the boat. I'm super happy and thankful that we have them, and they return every year and do a great job. And that is, if you talk to yacht clubs or other waterfront people that run launches, their launch operators are probably the hardest thing to get. So, that's that. Any questions?
Do we have any questions? And we'll start with Councilor Majota.
I think one thing everyone always says, everything's so expensive nowadays, but to raise the cost, but we're allowing the coupon and to discount it, you're sort of meeting everyone in the middle. So I think that is a great alternative to sort of like, hey, we did have to raise it, but there's a way to save money as well. But with cost of fuel and like you said, that we're not trying to make money, but $50,000 to 15, like, that's a huge number to sort of make up, and there has to be some way to make it up. So I think this is a good way to do it, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Counselor Grace.
Yeah, I appreciate, the fiscal responsibility with, increasing the revenue. Definitely needed, but I also appreciate, that you're keeping it real for people, for your ordinary person.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. We don't wanna price anybody out of this, but it's, again, it's also a user-based service where if you're, the patrons that are having moorings are using the launch, and so we do wanna keep it affordable to get the maximum amount of people out on the water at a time, and also bring in the maximum amount of people for local businesses, so. This wasn't a willy-nilly situation. The Waterways Board did a great job on this.
No, it's obvious that you put a
Yeah.
lot of time
Information
into it.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of good information. I did a good job on that. But I'm surprised at the amount, to be honest with you, I'm surprised at the amount of people that responded to that. I send emails out sometimes, I can't get anyone to respond, so 65 people responded.
Tell me to send it.
Yeah, it's just gotta come from not Gloucester Harbor Master at Gloucester Dash.
All right, so I don't have any questions. I agree with this wholeheartedly. It's a great compromise.
We will be doing if passed by this board tonight and by the full board, we are in that job, Guilfoyle, JPR. Really, we're gonna put something out saying here's our.
Well, the
fees.
next step of this, we're having a board meeting next week, is really ironing out the messaging of this so that it, everybody understands what we went through to get to this decision. It's not just, hey, we're raising the rates, just really message it to people.
And we're subscribed to the city's, I forget what it's John Guilfoyle, the press release, so the harbor masters encompass in the
Excellent.
contract, so we'll put that out and get some language, but I think overall, people will be pretty happy.
No, I think it's gonna be great, and I don't have a vote. I don't like votes.
Come for a ride on the
I
lawn.
thought you were about to say, I don't have a vote on it.
I was like, where are you going on this one? I'm like, I
Vote?
I have two types of boats that I like, one that's really fast and one that has air conditioning,
Oh, wow.
right? So those are the type of boats.
my buddy's boat.
But
Yeah, that's the best boat.
I do have a lot of customers with boats. And I can tell you that a lot of them comment to me all the time about the relationship they've built with the launch operators.
Your
Sure.
brother being probably the biggest one.
Yeah. But, people talk about, they get to know them, they know their hobbies, they know what they wanna do, they talk, and. Even that 3-4 minute ride to their boat to get out there to get ready for the day when they're coming in to get their family later. They feel a personal connection with your launch
Sure.
operators.
Yeah.
And like you'd mentioned, the private marinas trying to find launch operators and stuff. You have a group of launch operators that are from Gloucester, and a lot of them are a little older and stuff, but they take it seriously, and they're very friendly, and they get to know you, and that's a huge part of making people comfortable.
100%.
And I can't thank the program enough for that,
I appreciate it.
because it's
It's all these guys do a great job.
yeah, and when people tell me these things, I hear a lot of bad stuff every
Yeah.
day, all right? But usually when it comes to the harbor master's office, I hear a lot of positive things, and the Waterways Board as well. So, except for one itch in my side, but that's, you all aware of that. But you guys are doing a great job.
I appreciate
And
it.
your operators are a lot to be thankful
Definitely,
for.
100%.
Because they get to know you and they ask you how you doing, you weren't here last week, everything all right? Oh, my kid had, chicken pox, we got all that stuff, we couldn't do anything, I wanna go on the boat, and my wife, but they interact. And
They're
that's
also
important.
big ambassadors of the city, so again, if you guys haven't been on, if you go to docwa.com, it's linked to marinas.com now, which is the Yelp of boating. If you're going anywhere, you're using that, there's almost 400 reviews, and we have almost 5 stars, which today's day and age is tough to do, but a lot of it is contributed to, if you read. The assistant harbor masters and the launch operators by name in a lot of reviews, excellent, unbelievable, great recommendations, super friendly, they're really, really good, and a lot of launch operators are called up by name in there. So they're the first thing that people see when they come into the city, and we handle the package with Discover Gloucester and stuff, but they're great, so.
Hope you
Hats
guys-
off to my launch operators.
You guys are
They
doing
make
awesome.
TJ hide in the closet.
Yeah, so, all right, with that being said, Councilor Grace, you draw the unlucky straw on this one tonight. Well, it's actually not that bad at all, really.
Committee recommendation, move to recommend that the city council amend the Gloucester Code of Ordinances, chapter 10, Waterways Administration, article for moorings, public landings, and city-owned commercial marinas, section 10-51, regulation of moorings as follows. E, fees. The fee for each type of mooring shall be established by the city council. Fees for personal moorings shall be charged by the length of vessel at the rate of $8 per foot for city residents and taxpayers, and at a rate of $10 per foot for non-residents. The fee for transient moorings shall be $200 each. A daily fee of delete $60, add $65 shall be charged for every vessel that utilizes a municipal mooring used for transient boats operated by the harbor master. The daily rental for transient boats shall include the services of the Gloucester launch during regular service hours. Fees for 10A float permits shall be in the amount of $1 per square foot up to a maximum of $400. Fees for the use of the Gloucester launch shall be delete $5, add $10 per person per one-way trip with children 12 and under 12 years of age or younger, free. A seasonal pass for permitted mooring holders will, within the boundaries of the Gloucester Harbor launch with unlimited daily use for up to 4 passengers will cost $350. Add permitted mooring holders may purchase a book of 20 ride tickets for $140 each. Ticket is good for one person, one way. And I so move.
Second.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the motion was made by Council Grace, seconded by Council Majota, and voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, and this will be held at the next advertised public hearing. Sherry, do you know when that might be?
I don't believe it's been advertised yet, but I would need to speak to Joanne to find out and I can let you know.
I
Excellent.
can give a call up there tomorrow too. We'd like to try to get this done as soon as possible because we're getting very dangerously close to the season starting.
And we'll ask for a vote to reconsider at the
Yeah,
council meeting
that'd
on
be
this
great.
matter as well.
Great.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Do
Thank
we
you
have
very much.
a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sherry, thank you very much.
Everybody, good to see you all.
You as well.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good night.
Let a hug, because I don't know if we have that before. Maybe